Hello, my people. This is Providence. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, guys, I have this tutorial for you. I want to make a fireworks. So, this tutorial is totally for beginners, and I want also to take this time to wish you a happy new year of 2024. You have achieved the dreams of the goals you set this year, 2023, and I hope you will success to next year. So good luck and happy new year. Let's start. As you see, I have what I can call like a launcher. Once my point is being launched, the the point or um, particle will explode into multiple points. This script is based on the logic, not real life simulation. And I will link down the script down below so that if you can contribute, you can add some extra logic inside so that I can even learn from you. And if you are a beginner also, you can download this script at down description below. So let's explain the logic behind. Imagine we have this point and we want this point to move in random direction. Up to reach a certain distance, we want this point to be exploded into multiple points like this to have this effect of firework. And then this particle will exist to be live or will end after explode and disappear. So let's start. So um let me first of all put normal viewpoint, viewport. You can see my station where I'm going to launch. So let me show you first how can you make the black viewpoint. Okay. I'm using Rhino 8 as trial version. I'm going to show you how you can turn your normal viewport into black. So what you do, you go here to display and then edit setting and then hit display mode and take this render and make a copy out of it and then rename, for example, black rendered 01. You keep it there and then you can see black rendered 1. First of all, let's back here and change the background. We make it into solid color, then we choose a black one. So you can see we have a black viewport. So I think we can first of all work from the normal viewpoint, and after we finish our logic, after we understand our logic, we can make it black and white. You can see my launcher explode. Okay, let's start first of all to understand the logic behind. I started with simple rectangle surface. Then that rectangle surface, I simply put a random point which I have control. This random point, I decide to put random seed so that I can keep having a random position on my surface. Then after that, I was want to create the vector, random vector which are pointing in all direction. So this point will move in this certain direction. So the next was I want to move this point in one unit in the z direction. Then I make a curve or a circle out of it so that this circle can help me to get a vector. So it is too small, but I hope you will see it. Yeah, it's here. So what I did is to make one point, so that I can make a vector out of it. Then this vector will be random because the point, the evaluation of point is based on the random number from 0 to 1. So what I did, I take the rest of the circles, which equals to the number of random point I have on my surface. Then find the random number between 1 and 0, and then parameterize the curve. Then that's when we get a point on curve. That point on curve is the one we are going to use to make a vector. So the vector from this point to this. So once we launch, our particle or fireworks will go in this direction. That's it. That's the basic. So after that, what I did here, because I want to be simulation, I use the trigger. The trigger, what it does, in each millisecond, here I said to millisecond, the grasshopper going to recompute again. So and then I bring the record so that I can, each time our grasshopper is computing, we can get the number. We can get the list of number repeated from the number we set here, and then we do mass addition. This mass addition, it's a growing number which can exceed to infinite, which can be infinite, which can run a whole day. So what I did, I simply set the target that my simulation will not reach to a certain number. Here I choose 106 as my limit. Then this step 2, what was simply saying that make sure that when this value is greater than my target, set the value to be false. When it is false, I put string data saying that when it is false, don't exceed this number. So it will always be equal with this number 106, because here the number has grown. But if you can see, the number is growing. After reaching to this level, will stop. Okay. The second step was to create these two scenarios. Imagine we have this point, we want to launch in certain distance and then explode. So we have two scenarios. I take the target and divide into those two scenarios. So I get a half of my target. So the second step, the third step, A, was simply to say if the a half of my height is reached, then by simply saying if this number we are getting from here, it is greater than our value here, we should have um, we should have a half of this one, or have the get a growing number from our simulation. Let's see it here. This number will never exceed 53, because it is a half of our target. So this distance, you can use it as a moving point as moving distance toward uh, z direction, but with random vector. So which will be using here. But first of all, I want to explain you the step 3b. Step 3b was also to take this a half of target and then check if being less than our glowing number. If it is less than, we should produce a false a false boolean to tell our stream data to not pass this data unless it is true. Let's see. And to not pass the data unless the zero, my simulation will be zero in while when my point is still moving, because this B3B is the second step to explode my point. So here I'm saying the value a half of imagine the point reach on this point, and I'm saying if it reach on this point, my number should start growing from 50, 53, 53 as after this one. You can see this stop on 53, that's one stop on 106, as two scenarios I said. You see, it started after this one, so that's good. So our simulation divided into two parts. Simply take a half of our target and define less than, you get a boolean, and if it is less than, our our shooting launch or exploded height will have always zero. But if exceed this height, our counting will continue to count and then stop to 160 because my string is stopping there. So for these parts, you can see the logic is working fine, but we need to add some extra logic, like simply here saying that if this distance of 106 is greater than the distance we have here, it should be a zero. Here it should be zero. So if this distance is greater than here, we should have a boolean uh, saying that it is false. It is not greater than uh, um, it is not greater than this number, which starting from the half of our target. So what we get here is the first value when it is false. The first value here it is zero on string get zero. It is zero. So when we launch, because our our number will be less than the target, my number will grow, and after reach on the ceiling, the boolean will become false again. You can see. Then that point will explode and then vanish. So that's it. So this small part also was to see where we can stop this number. You see, it is stop. This is stop in a half. Let's display again, and then we launch. You see, and then once I launch, this number will start to move, and a certain distance will stop. But there is no mechanism of this number to come back to zero because I want to reset after simulation is done. So the logic I added here was to put string data saying that if this number it is less than the target, this number which grow after which explode after we reach a half of distance, if it is a less than to our target, then it is false. It is false. But I want to uh, uh, get not, which will give me opposite of that. That means if my streaming data is true, I want to have whatever it is whatever number we have here. And remember, if here it is false, I set to be zero. So if here it is true, I'm doing opposite. I'm taking this zero and put it here. If this value it is true, here it will be false, and then my value will pass. We pass successfully. You can see it. Let's bring it here and we see. You can see my number is growing. After 53 stop to grow, and after simulation done, boom, it's back to zero. It's a simple logic, but I hope you understand. If you have some difficulties, I'll share this script down below. So our logic is working fine. So what we do is taking this vector we call random vector, which are pointing multiple directions, and then we take it. So to amplify, what we do is move this point with that random vector, and then amplifying with a distance we choose, and then we take this growing number, which growing based on the logic we set. So this will help us to move this point and then stop at certain distance based on the logic we have here. So let's see. You can see going to stop, and will even disappear after our scenario done or two scenarios done. Okay, yeah, I hope you understand it. This number it is also to add to add more height or to amplify the vector with this distance. So the next step was, if we reach that height, the point reached that height, I want also to make a sphere here sphere, and then populate with 2D, and then make vector again. And this time, make sure that you draft your vector A, point A, because here we want to treat each point to have multiple point or multiple vector based on the population we have here for each sphere. Each sphere we have population of at least 100 point, which is going to be our particles explode in air, and then we make a vector. So let me display. You can see a random, and um, then we find a vector from the original point of the center of sphere. Then we make a vector out of it. You can see the sphere. We hide it. Also hide this one. Then after we getting that vector, we are going to use our logic here. The logic simply, it is that logic when our point reach on certain distance, point it will explode, and if it hit the target we set, it will come back to zero. That the logic we have. If it is coming to zero, nothing happen on our amplified on amplified uh, amplified explodes. So you can see it here when it's hit to zero, because we're using this vector which pointing, suppose this point is here, which pointing all direction. If our logic is zero, so means nothing is going to happen in amplified. And also in amplified, I said this acceleration, we can call it acceleration or radius, as long we our point or particle is going to explode, spread all over. So and the last part was to move that point in multiple direction of explosion, and then find a count. I want each race to have a unique color. So what I did, finding the uh, data statistic which give me 4 branches. So those 4 branches I put in color wheel, and those 4 branches are relevant to number of points we have. A color wheel, so that we have 4 colors, and then those 4 colors, I make the new point we move, I make sphere. Here I use the sphere mesh, because it is use less time in computing it, so it is less time. And then the last things I did, it is to color based on the color I have. So for example, if I increase the number of point here or stationary where they might exploding will happen, each of here, each point will have the unique color based on statistic branch count. Okay, let's see the last one. Let's see enjoy the last script. Let's enjoy our work by putting black rendering. Then we see hit launch. You can see going to explode. Pa. And the things here, you can set here. I set 3 as repeating number. Let's put 5 to speed up our simulation. So if we put 5 means this number we reach in short distance. Let's see. The simulation will be more fast. Yeah, that's it. Let's hide everything, and then we display our particles or fireworks only. And then we do it again here. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to all of you. I'm happy that we finished this year alive. So let's thank to God, and I hope next year will be a blessing here for you. And I wish you success. Bye. Thank you.